A few years ago, there was a guy who wasn't just supposed to be an NFL draft pick, he was projected to be a first-round draft pick. He was a 5-star tight end and one of the most sought-after recruits in the country. Ole Miss even sent him 32 letters in one day. Okay, I understand when you're recruiting, you want to get a guy, but sending 32 letters in one single day? That's insane. I think it also gives you somewhat a perspective of just how badly everybody wanted him. He was big, strong, I don't want to say fast, but fast enough, especially at the tight end position. He had for sure hands, and he also could block here and there. Was he the most athletic tight end we've ever seen? No, he wasn't like a Kyle Pitts. I would say though he was more athletic than your average tight end, and what he lacked for in athletic ability, he made up for in size. He was listed at 6'5" and 250 pounds, an absolute unit. Do not, and let me repeat, do not get me wrong, I'm not putting him and Rob Gronkowski in the same conversation. Gronkowski is a one of one, he's in his own category, we'll never see anybody like him again. However, when I was doing all my research and breaking down this guy's film, I saw a lot of similarities. Not only did I see these similarities, so did all these NFL scouts. That's why he was projected to be a first-round pick. Whoa, hold on. You just may think he has great potential and size, but he was even better on the field. He led college football in receptions at the tight end positions in back-to-back seasons. It appeared and seemed like nothing was going to get in his way and stop him from reaching his goals. But you want to hear something crazy? He never even made it to the NFL. It was extremely strange because at one point it almost seemed like he was a lock to be an NFL football player and make millions of dollars. He didn't get in any off-the-field problems. He was on all these mock draft boards and his stock was continuing to rise. Flash forward in time to a couple months after the draft, he's not even playing football. It kind of raises an eyebrow, doesn't it? I mean, what went wrong? It's not every day you hear about one of the top tight ends in the country, a projected first-round pick, falling off and nobody really knows what happened. There's a lot of different questions that people have had about the situation for the past couple of years, and it all circles back to the main question we're going to try to figure out today. What really happened to Adam Breneman? Real quick before we get into this video, most of y'all know the drill. On the previous one, I said let's see how many new subscribers we can gain, and we gained over 500. If you're new to the channel, we play this game where we try to see how many subscribers we can gain off the previous one, and I tell you in the next one, which is this one. So if you want to help our channel out and see how many subscribers we can gain, and I'll tell you in the next video, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, do all that nice stuff. It's going to be a good video. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into it. Alex Breneman, yes that's right, you heard me correctly, it sounds kind of weird, but I am saying his name right. In high school, Adam was your stereotypical football star jock. Now that I said that, I realize some people might take that the wrong way. I don't mean anything bad by that. What I mean by saying your stereotypical high school star jock, he was like what you see in movies. He had blonde hair, decent looking dude, and he was a stud on the field. He started varsity football as a freshman, and he didn't look back, he dominated. He was a beast, you get the point. I'm not gonna run through and talk about every single season, you know how it goes. All these 4- and 5-star recruits, they're 10 times better than everyone else they play. When it was all said and done, he was regarded as a 4-star recruit and ranked as the 43rd best overall player in the country. I know what some of you are sitting there saying. Well, Matt, in the beginning you said he was a 5-star. And yes, according to 2 to 3 different recruiting sites, they did list him as a 5-star. Most of you, if you've been watching the videos, you know I've been using 24/7 Sports. That's how I like to use my analytics and recruiting data, and they only had him as a 4-star. I'm not too sure why 24/7 didn't list him as a 5-star, but he always proclaimed he was a 5-star, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And you're splitting hairs here, it's not that big of a deal. His recruiting process was relatively hard, and he spent a while thinking about it. But ultimately, he decided to commit and sign with Penn State. Adam grew up watching Penn State and that was his favorite school, so it made a ton of sense. In his first year there, he didn't do all that much. He only played in 8 games, had 15 catches for 186 yards and 3 touchdowns. Nothing too crazy, but he was playing here and there and he was a young guy, he was a freshman, he was getting ready for the next couple of years. I found this really interesting. He stated before he even got there, quote unquote, I thought I was going there for 3 years and then be a first-round pick in the NFL draft. I was on top of the world. You can tell off that quote he was not lacking confidence, and I can't blame the dude. Going off of what he said, that doesn't rub me the wrong way. Every player should think that way. Ladies and gentlemen, strap in because this is where our story takes a drastic turn. Remember, like he just said, he felt like he was on top of the world. He didn't do that much as a freshman, but he was heading in the right direction. Everything was leading up, and it was almost looking like he was going to dominate the next 2 years, go to the NFL, and have a great career. Weirdly enough, heading into 2014, he was having some soreness in his left knee. It wasn't because of something that happened in practice or on one play, it was just something that was going on time after time and it was building up. Adam even stated the more he practiced and the more he played on it, it continued to get worse. He went to go see some doctors and there was bad news. He was going to have surgery and miss the entire season. Before we go any farther, that right there alone, as a former athlete, I can already tell and I already know that was devastating. That second year at Penn State was supposed to be his breakout year. He was supposed to light the country on fire, be a household name, and potentially get his name up the draft boards even more. Unfortunately, injuries happen. It is what it is. You can't do nothing about it. Well, my bad. You can do something about it. You can have surgery and redshirt, and that's what he did. No big deal, right? He's going to rehab it, come back next year in 2015, and everything's going to go back according to plan. However, that did not happen, and if anything, it got worse. Heading into 2015, remember, he already missed 2014. His knee was hurting once again. He went to go see the doctors and they chalked it up as maybe he was working too hard or it was bad luck. I want you to think about this. Imagine rehabbing your knee for over a year, and I'm sure some of you have done this, and it's not even healed or it didn't heal the right way. You go see your doctor and he's like, oh yeah, it's just bad luck. You got to sit down another year. That's pretty much what happened in this situation, and you can't help but feel sorry for him. There was some speculation that maybe he was pushing himself too hard in rehab, but you never know, and it really doesn't matter. The bottom line is he can't play. Technically, he did appear in 2 games in 2015, but that was it. Here's what Adam had to say about this difficult time. It was a low point in my life. There was a point there I didn't want to go back to the football building. I was just a worthless scholarship. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I was going to do something. That quote unquote something he's referring to is really strange, and we're going to get into it. He wound up writing a letter to the Penn State fans and thanking them for their support, and he also said people took that as a retirement letter, and you could certainly call it that. I just didn't know. And you want to know what he did next? Maybe it's not really weird, but I've never seen it before. He decided to get into politics. According to what I saw and what I could tell, he was helping with the Mike Reagan campaign. What makes it even more strange is you would think a guy like that, he would fold under the pressure or he wouldn't do that good talking to the media and doing politics, but he was actually really good at it. The guy he was campaigning for even said this: he was a local celebrity. There was a block of people from the ages of 18 to 35 who knew exactly who he was. Adam is also a master self-promoter, and we love that he turned those skills toward me. At the same time, while this was going on, he's still rehabbing his knee. And a knee injury is tough because, yeah, you can rehab it, but at the same time, it just needs, what's the word I'm looking for? It needs time to heal. As a person who's dealt with knee injuries, I relate completely. You can't just rehab it 24 hours a day. It needs up to a year of rest. That was the main reason I believe he got into politics. He also stated that he loved doing it ever since he was a kid. Or not loved doing it, but he loved talking about it. The guy he was campaigning for wound up winning, and he offered Adam a job that was going to pay good, but he faced a dilemma. The dilemma I'm referring to is that by the same time his doctors cleared him to play football once again. Many people around Adam thought it was a close and done deal. He was going to quit football then and go into politics. But here's what somebody had to say. For 6 months, there was no way he was coming back to football. He was set on where he was and had a great job. But however, all of that changed when one of his friends asked him to go outside and run some football routes, and here's what Adam had to say. That was the moment and the switch. Things changed overnight. The comeback story was alive. Adam Breneman was finally coming back to college football. The 5-star, 6'5", 250-pound tight end was back and looking for vengeance. Some of you are probably thinking, oh, he came back to Penn State and he wound up being a star, but you couldn't be any more wrong because he transferred to UMass. If what I'm about to tell you doesn't speak volumes about just how good this man was at football, I don't know what will. The last time he played football was in 2013, minus the little 2 games he played in 2015. That don't really count. So there was a 2.5 year, almost 3 year span where he wasn't even getting in-game action. For most people, it would take almost a year to get used to that in-game action. For Adam Breneman, not so much. He came back and was the top tight end in the country, and he led the country in catches. In 12 games played, he had 70 catches for 808 yards and 8 touchdowns. Remarkable. Those numbers alone are good just by themselves, but you got to take into account he didn't play for 2 years. What makes it even more impressive, think about this. It's not like he was training in those 2 years. He was doing elections. He wasn't even really focusing or playing football. He comes back in 2 or 3 years and he's putting up legendary numbers. Some people thought up and then he was going to go to the NFL draft and he wouldn't have been a first round pick, but he would have been a late round pick, maybe 4th, 5th, or 6th round. To make a long story short, he came back in 2017 and had a great year again. He only appeared in 11 games where he had 64 catches for 764 yards and 4 touchdowns. I don't have to tell you how good he was. The numbers speak for themselves. He eventually declared for the 2018 NFL Draft, where he was projected, like we've already stated, to be a first-round pick. There wasn't nothing to be scared of in his game. Great size, caught everything you threw to him, and he wasn't an off-the-field problem, and that matters a lot. But then out of nowhere, only a couple of weeks before the NFL Draft, a couple of weeks before he was a multi-millionaire, a couple of weeks before he was a first-round NFL pick, a couple of weeks before he makes his dreams come true, he retired from football. Yes, that's right, you heard me correctly. Adam Breneman retired from football. You see, what a lot of people didn't know at the time during his senior year at UMass is that, yeah, he was doing good in the games and he was having a great year, but he was in a ton of pain. The knee pain that he had at Penn State that he didn't know how he got, it came back, and every game he went out there and every practice, it got worse. He just played through it because he loves it. Adam stated this in an interview, and it's kind of sad. However, once I started training daily for the NFL Draft in 2018, I realized my situation hadn't improved. After additional medical evaluations and creative treatments, my doctors and I have come to the realization that there is no solution that will allow me to continue to play football. Wow, man, that is devastating, even for me to hear and read. Here's one of the last things he wound up saying about it. Letting go of my dream to play in the NFL has taken some time to accept, but I've come to the terms with the reality that God has a different plan for me. For as much as football has challenged me emotionally and physically, I would not change a single thing. My career was not perfect and certainly not how I imagined it back when I was a 5-star recruit, but it was my reality. My journey is my story, and I've learned to be very proud of it. I do gotta say, he's got my respect, and he's good with his words. I love his mentality, like one of the previous videos we made. Who was it? Oh, Max Brown. He doesn't have this victim mentality. He knows there's other things in life. I love stories like this, where guys understand, yeah, my football career, it might not have worked out, but there's other things in life I can be great at too. And those people right there, ladies and gentlemen, are some of the dangerous people in the world. You know why they're dangerous? Because they're gonna be great. They won't take no for an answer. You may be sitting there wondering though, yo Matt, since he's not gonna play football in the NFL, what did he wind up doing? Let's just say the controversy with his career has continued to go on. He wound up being a football coach, and he even was the tight end coach for Arizona State. But in 2021, he was placed on administrative leave at Arizona State because of an NCAA investigation. According to the sources, he got caught red-handed, quote-unquote, email screenshots and receipts of Breneman allegedly paying $596.20 for a recruit to visit Tempe campus from Philadelphia. That investigation went on for a while, and I think it's currently still going on, but on January 29th in 2022, which was recent, only a couple months ago, he resigned. And last but not least, the up-to-date on him is he posts on TikTok and Instagram, and he's also starting up a podcast. According to his Instagram bio, he is a media entrepreneur and a football analyst and the host of The Breneman Show. Man, oh man, this guy has had a wild, not just football career, a wild life. He went from being a 5-star recruit to a guy doing politics and campaigns, and then he was a head football coach, but then he got put under an NCAA investigation, and now he's doing podcast. What in the heck's going on? He's lived 5 to 6 different lives within the past 6 to 7 years. Kudos to him, though. He continues to work hard at whatever he does, and I'm wishing him the best of luck. A lot of y'all think I criticize a lot of these players, and I'm only going to criticize people whenever football doesn't work out and they throw this pity party. I don't care if your football career doesn't work out. I don't evaluate a person on their athletic career. I evaluate them with how they respond to adversity. This story was once again another perfect case and example, prime example of a guy, yeah, my football career didn't work out, but I can do something else and be successful. Whoa, hold on. Before we end out this video, I have one takeaway, and it's my biggest question. Breneman claimed all throughout his senior year at UMass where he played through it, it was hurting him, right? Well, here's my biggest takeaway. If he played through it and it was hurting, why didn't you just go to the NFL, sign the $1 million contract, then retire? Let me make it more clear. He was playing at UMass and it was hurting him, right? But he was playing for free. So if you were playing and it was hurting for free, I don't see why you couldn't go through the pain and get paid millions of dollars. I don't want you to get me wrong, I'm not trying to question how tough he is, we know he's tough. That would be one question I would love to ask him and hear what he had to say. I'm going to assume that it wasn't hurting that bad when he was at UMass, but before the NFL draft, it was almost unbearable. So more than likely, that's why he was like, okay, I can't do this, I'm retiring. I have no idea, let me know your thoughts down below. But with all being said, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you like content like this. I'm out, y'all. Peace.